Weapon proficiencies will be a nice little script. The purpose of this is these weapon types. Uh, every actor will have a level associated with these. So say they all begin at 0. If Reed uses daggers over and over and over again, uses attacks with daggers, uses dagger skills, then he will gain experience with daggers, and over time he will gain levels with daggers. He will have some kind of proficiency level with daggers. Then if you swap to sword, you'll begin the process all over again. You'll gain sword experience and eventually gain sword levels. And this is the only purpose for the weapon proficiency plugin that I want to build. I will also build a scene that will display an actor's weapon proficiencies. And yeah, that's all that this plugin will do on its own. But I do have two sort of bonus or add-on plugins that I want to make that will work because of this. The first one will be lock certain weapons from being equipped until a certain proficiency level is reached. So that would be you can equip the short sword with any proficiency, but you can only equip the dragon blade if you have level 10 in swords. So that's an add-on plugin I want to make. And there's another add-on plugin idea that is each weapon type will have some kind of parameters attached to it. And anytime you level up that weapon type, you will gain parameters, or the actor will gain parameters. So if a sword is attack and agility, every time you level up your sword proficiency, that character will gain attack and agility. And maybe a staff will increase intellect or something. So or magic attack. So if you continue to use staves and you increase your staff proficiency level, then you will gain magic attack. And the way I think I'll have to track this is probably with this required weapon here. Yeah, I'm not sure. Because I don't want it to just be everything. So if you use any skill while you have a weapon equipped, that weapon type will gain experience. Because that doesn't really make sense. You could have a weapon type here that is sword. So if you use it, you will gain sword experience. But then maybe there'll be some attacks that don't require any weapon, like some kind of force attack or magic attack. Technically, that you could use that with any weapon, so I'm not going to require that, but it also means you won't gain proficiency with that. So I guess that could cater for if you have sword skills, then you use the sword skill and gain sword experience. But if you use a cheer just to buff your allies, that doesn't require a sword, so you won't gain experience. Okay, I've spoken about this enough. It's time to get stuck in. So let's go plugin weapon proficiency.js. I will just ask AI to get me a template for a plugin. Um, do, 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 do. Okay, it's generated a bit more than I need, but it's fine. I will take this and put it on the top, just like this. Weapon Proficiency. We don't need a description right now. Interesting. I've never seen this before, but I quite like that. Yeah, I've never seen these, but I guess I will be using that for the weapon proficiency add-ons. That's cool. Okay, so let's just I guess I'll leave that in, but I'll need to remember to remove it for this one. I'll leave the parameter stuff in for now. Must match file name. Interesting. Let's comment this out. And we'll comment all this out, but I'm sure I will be using that pretty soon. And we don't need any of this stuff. So let's find game actor, where we initialize game actors and where we set up game actors. These will both be used. So let's say weapon proficiency. Game actor dot prototype dot init members. This it technically should be proficiencies because this is an object that holds all of them. I'll need to have some methods on this to access this a lot easier. Okay, so it doesn't take any parameters. That's easy. Now, when we set up I think we would like to keep this, but for the rest of it, we can just set up and then remember to add in the actor ID. Weapon proficiency. Probably just number, then a number. So we weapon type right, what am I doing? This is a swordsman, so we'll just say maybe 2. I guess we should add a couple. 2, and it begins at level 1, say. All the rest I'm going to say start at level 0, although I should make that a parameter, right? Default proficiency, or starting proficiency. And the default / starting proficiency level for weapons. There is no min or max for this. So starting proficiency, we can get that here. And we will just double default just in case they pass something strange in as an argument or as a parameter. And we are casting it as a number, which is good. So how do we get a hold of, oh, my ears are now bleeding, nice. We'll add the plugin and let's get rid of some music. Right, types. How do we get a hold of types? Is this a game system thing? Let's get something on the screen. Console.log game system. No, looks like it's nothing to do with game system. Hmm. W type, is that something I saw? Skill.required W type. So does that mean weapons will have weapon W type? Is W type equipped? Interesting. We game item. Let's spit out something from the weapons. Just the first one. All right, so this has W type ID. Do we use it at any point? Mm, what else do we have access to here? Data system, maybe. weapon types. There we go. So we're going to loop through all of these. So underscore weapon types, I've already forgotten. Oh, my mind. Um, oh, away with you. Right, let's say const weapon types equals this dot weapon types. So for each weapon type, we will say hi. If weapon type is not a thing, we will just continue to the next one. Weapon proficiencies. You know what? Let's see if there must be just a simple ID. I think that if we just use I, we're fine. Yep. Okay. So it's an array. Is it an array? It just holds the word. Okay. So dagger is one. Yep. There. This is done deal. So there we go. We're just initializing the weapon proficiency with the weapon ID here, and we're setting that equal to the starting proficiency, whether that's going to be 0, 1, 5 million, doesn't matter. And then in here, I think I'll need to do my own matching here instead of using the note tag, because I want to catch all of the instances of this. I don't want to just have a single one. So let's say maybe this is, maybe we have more than that, just to test. Okay, where was I? So in the code, we have some default proficiencies here. I did grab a bit of code for creating a regular expression. So maybe underneath this stuff, I'll do some const weapon proficiency. I think it's just that and that. So here we can let's just see what happens if we console log to actor.note and then maybe match the weapon proficiency regular expression. Let's see what this gives out, because okay, an array. Hmm. Oh, you do match all. Okay, so if we want to match all, then it's just the same. So this is now matches. We can say const matches equals this. And then we loop around each of these matches. You know what, maybe it's better to do something matches dot for each. Is that a thing? Yep. So the callback function is going to be, I think you pop match in here and it means you can work with that. Let's see if this works. Non-global. Oh, the G at the end. You should use the global flag with your regular expression and use the match all method in JavaScript. So let's just find out what the global G does. What is the use of the global G flag? Okay, so it's just simply tells it look for all of the matches and not just the first one. Oh, so even string, even if you use replace to replace a part of a string, unless you use the G, it won't do it. Interesting. All right, well, let's see if it's fine like that, because it's not highlighting red, but maybe it's fine. Okay, well, now it's got a problem with that. So, but that's fine. Let's just do a regular old for. Oh, hold on. For each. Ah, so it wasn't the for each that was the problem, it was this part. So we say matches for each, and then this is where you put in the single match, and we can console log out match. Oh, unless what it was saying was that matches came up null. If matches does not return anything, we will return early because we don't want to try anything down here. Maybe that's all the problem was. No, no, it still says it's not a function. Then let's see console.log matches. Let's get some idea of what is coming out of this. A regular expression string iterator. Hmm. Oh, match all. The way it sets this up. Interesting. It creates an array and then dumps each of them into it. Because this notation here is whatever, I think this is called a spread. So whatever is already in the array, and then you just add that to the end of it. Will this actually, It does solve the problem. Very interesting. So the first one, array 3, is what is it? The match. And then inside we spit out what each match is, which is also an array 3, so it looks like it's doing all the same thing, but it's actually not. So this is the entire match, and then inside we can get the data we need. Okay, so we can say this weapon, before I start getting into the weeds of this, I should really start making more methods. Set weapon proficiency. You pass in a proficiency level, and this is going to say this weapon proficiencies. We'll say weapon type ID. You know what? Just to keep it the same as the rest of the RPG Maker code, we will call it W type ID, which I think is the term that they use everywhere for weapon type ID, and set it equal to proficiency level. We will say increment weapon proficiency. And we'll pass in the same thing, weapon type ID, and I know that's it actually, because all we're doing when you increment, it just adds one. So we'll say weapon proficiencies, we type ID plus plus. Increment. Um, and I guess there'll need to be experience as well. Maybe instead of this just being a number, we can put an object in there. So here we go. When we initialize it, we are going to create a new object. Level is going to be that. And experience is going to be that. We'll just make dot level equal to that. And we'll say dot level plus plus. Get weapon proficiency level for this weapon type ID. Return this weapon proficiencies weapon type ID dot level, and then get experience. Same type of thing, but this time we pass in we pass back the experience. Now I'll just keep a note for myself that let's just pop it down here and hope I don't forget about it. When granting XP or when rewarding weapon proficiency XP, tally up their total XP gained in combat, then add it to the actor at the end of combat. So that's the idea. Rather than doing it at the time, which just means having to have some level up message during combat, which just seems unnecessary, we may as well just tally up every time they use skills with that weapon, and then just award all of the experience at the end. Um, Prototype dot gain weapon proficiency experience, weapon type ID and experience, and we will just do this weapon proficiencies for this weapon type ID dot experience plus equals the experience, and I guess there should be a prototype dot um, maybe I want to extract all this into its own object that doesn't get saved into your data file, because I think all of this might get saved, which would be kind of pointless. I hope not. Let's just keep going anyway. Check for weapon proficiency level up, weapon type ID. So we will say, we don't actually know how to do this yet. Default EXP gained default EXP gained, and we will say the default amount of EXP gained weapon proficiency EXP gained using a skill. We're not using an option. Type number, and we'll just say default is 1. So default EXP gained. Um, let's put some note tags here. Actor note tags. What is this? Weapon proficiency X Y. Weapon type ID Y equals starting level. And then let's add one skill note tag. We'll say the amount of EXP gained when using this skill. So this way, you can use this to change the amount of experience that a skill will give. I'll set that to nothing so that it doesn't hold up our debugging or testing. So you get strong attack at level 1 and slash at level 1. Let's just make that 1, 5, and what else? 1, 5, and 3. Wait, what? 1, 2, and 3. Yeah, 1, 2, and 3. There'll be a chest here. So you get a short sword, you get a flail. We can use a dagger already, nice, but we'll just add in the flail. Right, so nothing is going to really happen right now. I just want to make sure we're ready. There's a sword, flail, and a dagger. Okay. So the strong attack requires a sword. I don't think this would work with if the required weapon. Maybe this would work with two different types. So if you have strong attack and you say it should work with a sword or a dagger, then maybe I can code it to work with both.